Good evening, terrified hordes and horrified teeming masses, and welcome to yet another bone-scraping, spine-tingling, nails-on-a-chalkboard upsetting, this is driving viewers away, but I've committed, chapter of Blood from a Stone, a tale of love and dread in RPG. My name is Philip, I am your Dread Master, and I am ensconced by a hand-picked selection of the most ghoulishly talented players this side of the cemetery. I ran out of this.
This side of those who are available.
This side of who was around tonight. Say
we're
good
the
evening, players.
Good evening, players.
I'm really glad that the whole say goodnight Gracie joke that Burns and Allen created, 500 years ago. I'm glad it still gets some play. So, how's everyone doing tonight?
Totally super.
Glad to hear it.
How are you, Philip?
It's been an interesting week, but it's also been an okay one. It is a good joke, Sophia, you are right. So, Jeremy, you are here, and though London, Zurich, and Montreal have sort of experienced what is going on in our new overlay. Did anyone read did anyone look at what the opening screen was this time to see the thing? Yeah.
Philip, I didn't even get my dice ready yet, so no, I didn't read the thing.
Right now.
Understood. Well, maybe get your dice ready, but also it's cool if you don't. But yes, we are sort of in a new phase, a new chapter. The Dread Clock is currently sitting at the hour of 7. Oh. Uh-oh. Whoa.
What?
Was that exciting? Did you have an excitement?
No, that was... Yeah, did you guys see that?
We did. You did a little thing, but I think you're still here on
froze
stream.
for a second.
I did.
Yeah.
That's
what
upsetting.
did you do?
No, that had something to do with monitors. I think I mildly impacted that monitor and suddenly it turned off and everything was on this, but then it reset. So that's a thing I'll have to worry about.
You gotta stop punching your monitors, Philip.
Yeah, I do. But I mean, they're so punchable. The colors changed too. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Wait, was it... I'm not doing it again because I'm worried that it will never come back and then we'll just be done for. But that was upsetting. So, in any event, the Dread Clock is at the hour of 7. Well, now I have actual fear in me.
Well, that's what you get.
That's true. It is what I get.
Did you let your heart win?
Okay. Well, whatever. I'll mess with that a while. KJ has had a lot of her monitor turns off troubles, If you've ever seen it, you've probably never... Jeremy, you've probably never encountered that in any, because that's been in games you're not in with KJ. But KJ has an issue in which, KJ will sometimes slam down on the table because she's mad at something I've done, and the monitor shuts off, and you see that she just goes into darkness. And she can still hear us. She's plugged in, but she can't see anything. She has to restart her computer, and she's mad every time.
I am sad that I have not gotten to experience that live. That is really funny.
It sounds funny. It's like she's legit not like she's just been like, I'm out tonight. I can't handle this. Like it's bad. He's laughing harder at that. Just pointing it out. So, let's talk about what's going on in this game. In our last, so we wrapped things up in Ignador in a sense when Atris, Urek, and Leto were drowned in the Dread Flood, leaving only the fleeing coward Spellington / devoted servant of his lady to sort of survive. They were all drowned. Last week, however, we paused on that story and came to the island where London, Zurich, Montreal, Dallas, and Omaha awoke in the Dread Cells. 13 square stone buildings with a strange shadowy glass from which they were removed, and they all noticed, or rather, some of them noticed earlier, but eventually they all saw that within these, there were sort of some shelves within each of their sort of individual room. Oh, Jeremy, roll me a D13, by the way. Just forgot.
12.
Reroll.
7.
So it is. Jakarta is in room 7. He's in dread cell number 7.
Okay.
But as I knew when I told you to roll a D13, I knew there was a reason for that, but I was like, I guess I was wrong when I was having you roll dice earlier. So as Jakarta was still sleeping, but London, Montreal, Zurich, Dallas, and Omaha were awoken in these chambers. They saw several dolls on shelves. They were removed. They began talking to Dr. Partridge. They also talked to CJ Soot, who they kind of got the vibe was kind of a real jerk and was sort of maybe not, was sort of not kind of on their side as much as possibly he could have been. But then they were taken to a room. None of them knew who they were. They were told they were in a plane crash and had never had any memories since arrival. I think all of them, I don't want to speak for anyone, but I feel like everyone's stories, they felt the story didn't quite add up. They felt like something was off. From Dr. Partridge, who wore a parka. Dr. Partridge then had them go inside to view something with CJ Soot's assistance. Most of them said, we'd like to take the stairs, please, due to multiple things of claustrophobia and a little bit of acrophobia. They went into a screening room, which was not helpful for the people with nyctophobia. But in any case, they viewed a film projected through purple mist coming through tubes in the wall. And that is when they watched the plight of Spellington, Hattie, Elowin, and Alvin. As CJ Soot, Jeremy, you perhaps will appreciate this. I found this very amusing when I thought of doing it this way. As CJ Soot literally hand-waved to get them from the caves to they were boom already about to fight the Lich Queen Visibadiroth. CJ Soot hand-waved them. And yes, I am saying CJ Soot, by the way. I realize you have not probably encountered CJ Soot in this game yet, but this is a thing. So, they, upon all of this going down, they watched kind of in horror as Alvin struck down the Lich Queen Visibadiroth, only for the building that the viewers, London, Zurich, Montreal, et al., were in to shake, and a new dreadlord unleashed upon that realm in the form of Lampblack, who, as the throne room split apart below, more of that thick ink welled up. Lampblack appeared. Lampblack is a former character of Zane's who was sort of defeated and has become a dreadlord now. And he sort of took over, and he put all 4 of them, sucked them all into his ink to maybe transform them into... And there it is, though things look animated, it's more like a Renaissance painting come to life. It's kind of like it is animated like the Fractured Factory, but he is sort of transforming Ignador into this, through this ancient evil ink. I will now reveal that when, I believe it was you, Jeremy, who did it, but also Dan did the first one to trigger it. The fact that you guys, I already knew there was going to be some ink stuff down there in the caves of Ignador, where you guys were creeping through, because that's why I knew that the thing coming up was going to be like this ancient ink monster, because I knew that if they killed Visibadiroth, Lamplack was going to take over. But then when one of you rolled for the Dreadstorm, Dread Flood in that case, to be from the Fractured Factory, I was like, oh, okay, it's just on. This is happening now. So it's been delightful. Anyway, upon viewing all of that, Zurich had a mental break upon seeing this, or like it was almost like a physical effect of like not being able to handle seeing this person. All the others present, though, aside from Montreal, who had sort of awoken and Partridge was like, oh, we woke him up too early. He went, well, whatever, it's fine, just bring him. But they all had incredibly deep connections to some of the people on the screen, to the point that London even thought, I am Elowin. At this point, they were all brought back to their dread cells, where they went in and found that there were dolls on their shelves that they all knew the names of upon looking at them, upon having had that experience. Last week's recap was really long because I listed out all the things. I will mention here also, I did make a mistake during the game. It has now been removed. But Regrim, Eddie Macaroni, was that your name, Zane? Was that the guy's?
Yes.
Eddie Macaroni, Joanna Hopkins, Dan's character Incan, those characters were not on your shelves. I was wrong. Those would not have been on your shelves. Those were people who came from other places and got trapped in the thing. The other person notably not on the shelf was Medina. For more about that, watch on Mondays, guys, because we might have revealed a lot of stuff about that on Monday as well. And also not present in a different context, Montreal could feel there was something missing from his shelves. He had no gator face doll. That is because the gator face ate himself before being killed. And Moses is still sad about it. And I say, I am both sad that Moses is sad, but also I think it's good drama. So, also, while that was sort of happening, Dr. Partridge told Zurek and Omaha that they need to be more careful. They have had dolls taken away. This caused Omaha to remember a doll called, or think of someone named Dahlia. That caused London to reference that, and soon London was remembering somebody named Oksana. But at this point, Omaha was like, I need to be alone. She rushed in. Is it complicated that Lauren has a character named Oksana, whereas there's a character named Omaha? It is a little complicated. I apologize, but it's how it's going. Omaha ran in and said, I need to be alone. The rest of everyone, however, went and like kind of sort of, Dr. Partridge said, focus on one of your dolls. Let's pay some attention. Dallas was drawn to S.A. Rawlings' Shocker. Montreal knew that there's a doll he cared about the most that he couldn't find, but instead he settled on Darius Calmblood. Zurich picked up the doll for Alvin, which in that case was not a big stone thing. It was like his old human form. And London picked up Oksana. Omaha picked up Siobhan, but that's not as relevant right now. That is where we left off. So, for those of you who were players, who were here last week, as you spend some time just kind of thinking about this doll, being confused, resting at the dread cell, we also did learn that they refer to you as dread subjects. And you guys are like, hey, maybe stop calling everything dread. Maybe don't call every single thing here dread. But they were like, sorry, that's our business here. And I'm not sure if it was London or Omaha who were like, okay, no, that actually makes sense. And yes, in addition to dread subjects, do they sometimes call you dread subs? Well, maybe that's like the shortened form of it. But we don't have to get into how you're all my dread subs. The point is, with all of that in mind, I would like for everyone to go ahead and regain 4 power, if you need to, or up to your max if you have it all, as a few hours have passed. And with that, we are going to do the invocation for Chapter 141 of Blood from a Stone, A Tale of Love and Dread in RPG. I was strongly considering singing this one, but that means I'm going to sing all of them, and I'm not going to sing this one. But in my mind, I hear it. I hear the haunting melody. And the planets of the universe go their way, not astounded by the sun or the moon by the day. You and I will simply disappear out of sight, but I'm afraid soon there'll be no light. Montreal, Zurich, and London. Each one of you is vibing with a specific doll. Each one of you is focusing on what you know of the experience of this doll. And though this is not how things are going to go the whole time, in this instance, I would actually like for each one of you to make a roll of one of the following types. I either need a detect vibe, or an analyze, or I suppose I could even take a touch feel. I think you're all muted if anyone's talking. Sorry, yes.
I'll do it.
You'll do touch feel?
I'll do analyze.
Love it.
Can I add detect vibe?
You want to add one to your detect vibe? Would you like me to do that
Yeah.
for you?
Yes, please. I don't want to matter.
Perfect.
Could I add one to analyze as well?
You can. Do you want me to add it for you?
Yes, please.
You got it.
I got a pair of ones, and that's my thing. So
Okay.
what is that?
Just something awesome. Don't worry about it. We'll get to that in 1 second. Let me...
Oh no.
And Moses is going to deduct one and do one in analyze. So you get to roll 4 dice for this, Moses.
Yes, I just did.
Cool. All right. What did you roll?
I got 2 7s.
2 7s. Great. London. What did you get?
I got nothing.
No match.
Nope.
Even with 4?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Dang.
sorry, lady.
That's okay.
London, this doll, this Oksana, though you could feel her so clearly, and though something about her feels familiar, you are not kind of gaining deep. Like, you can remember things about her, but you do not have a good sense of what her vibe was. Like, we'll literally kind of go with this detect vibe. Like, you can't picture how she talked. You couldn't picture, like, her personality at all. But
Yeah.
you know that she was in love with someone. That's kind of the extent of it, just what you got out there. Montreal. With a 7, which in this case is zoophobia, so it's kind of animal's nature consumption. Aw. Okay, well, I'm sorry, sir, that you can't be doing this to stilt cutters. That would be a much more fun one for the animal-based thing. I will say that you do have a little bit of a connection here to Darius Calmblood. And I know that Liv wants us to be very clear that we're saying calm blood. To the point that you actually are going to you now have a +1 knowledge of Darius Calmblood. You are remembering him to an extent. Okay. You are.
Like, what about him? Do I get to pick like what I remember about him, or
In this case, I would say that if anything you can remember about the character is kind of like I'm open to you sort of remembering what that character was up to. It's also been 6 years since we've played that character, so but basically you know that he is a vampire. So Montreal, perhaps you're just like, oh my god, like there's a vampire, like why do I know? Why can I remember? Like how can I remember drinking blood? How can I remember going to the cottage where these hot people were fucking and we were just like told to like stay in this other cottage? How do I remember fighting a bounty hunter who came to us when we were having a dance inside an old black and white movie? You're sort of like, you're remembering that, and I'm going to give you the Darius Calmblood knowledge, which isn't necessarily knowledge of what he's done, but it's kind of like knowledge stuff that he'd have on occasion, stuff that a kind of vampire making his way through.
I've got like his vibe a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, but you definitely have his vibe, and you're having it. And I would say with that success, the way that London upstairs when watching the film felt that she was Elowen, you two have a feeling I am Darius. Calm blood.
Calm blood.
Zurich. A very similar situation for you, but with the added bonus of that you have rolled your fear. So if you could please roll me a d13.
Yeah, baby. All right, let's get this. Let's get this 13, Daddy. It's only a 10, though.
Understood. You know what? It's still a beautiful 10, and I appreciate you giving it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for giving
Anytime.
me that 10.
Oh my god.
Zurich. You have a similar feeling about Alvin. But yours is less sort of like, yours is honestly, because you rolled touch feel, yours is this, it's very unsettling for you. Actually, this fits great for what's going on with Alvin. You are, occasionally when you look at it, you can feel him, you can feel like dirt in your hands, you can feel making a peanut butter sandwich, you have these tactile memories of this man, but then you also have a dizzying fear as you can feel yourself getting taller. You can feel like, and then sometimes he was looking down from a height that to you is truly dizzying. It is as if like, oh my god, he's like lifted up, oh my god, and it actually does cause you, as you're sort of going through it, like you drop the doll and go to your little, basin and vomit, as you're kind of like experiencing this, like this dizziness of like, oh my god, it's so terrifying to be that tall, you're so high up.
I like it.
London, again, your connection is more, there's something, but you're not. And Zurich also, despite this, as you kind of, fall down on the ground panting, there is some part of you that thinks you are Alvin. In the meantime, sort of your doors, which have not locked, you guys have though the wall just kind of closes, you can see where the door is, and if you go to it, you can push it open. Nothing is sort of locking them. Dr. Partridge actually comes to all of your doors and kind of knocks on each London, Montreal, Zurich's doors, and she will sort of say, "All right, are you are you willing to speak to me for a moment, my friends? I could use your help with something. London, Zurich, Montreal. Are you willing to come chat with me for a moment?"
Yeah. I mean, are we gonna learn something?
Well, I hope so. Yes. How was looking at the dolls, and as sort of this is happening, you notice that Omaha's door is still closed, and so is Dallas's. So in other words,
Her internet just went out. She'll be right back.
Understood.
I think she's got to restart. Maybe she slammed her table too hard.
It's apparently an epidemic. Yes, specifically to put it in context, Zurich, you're stepping out of Dread Cell 2. Dallas in Dread Cell 3, that is closed. And as is Dread Cell 13, that is closed. But so you guys are stepping out of 2, 10, and 12. But you notice that there are a few people over at Dread Cell 7. And Partridge is sort of nodding and says, "There's another one of our patients who seems to be sort of waking up, one of the other Dread one of your other guests. So we're going to bring them in if that's all right. And we'd love for you to kind of talk to them about what's going on and help them with the adjustment."
I want to say I haven't really left my Dread Cell yet.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Because,
you're sort of talking from the doorway. Sure.
I'm overcome with the essence of Darius Calmblood.
Of course.
So I want to think I've cut my finger to draw some blood, and I'm just drawing something on the wall really quick, where it's
well, that's fun.
Something's just come over me. There's so much material inside me, inside everyone, to make something beautiful.
That's just come over you, Montreal.
What? Huh?
Fascinating. Well, Montreal, please don't interrupt your work. Darius Calmblood was an artist. That was part of it, right? Didn't he paint in blood? Yeah. I remember. I'd forgotten that, but that's rad. So yes. In any case, Jakarta. You hear some voices in the distance, but you also hear some hands awakening you. And Jakarta, you are currently awakening with you basically have no memory of anything. But people are saying Jakarta, can you hear me? Jakarta, are you all right?
Me?
Wake up. You're okay. Do you know who you are, Jakarta?
You just called me Jakarta, so I
Yes.
assume I'm Jakarta.
Yes, good. Okay, here. They sort of pull you up. I'd like you to make a look roll.
Okay.
This is your first, guys, this is Jeremy's first roll of the dice pool. Never done a pool before.
Look.
You're going to get 3 dice as under vitality. If you'd like to, you could add more, or just roll 3.
For now, I'll just roll 3.
I think that's great. All right, 3 d8s. What does he got?
2, 5, and a 7.
2, 5, and 7. I should mention to you, and as a reminder to those, we do have a house rule. It's not an official rule. If you ever roll a straight, I let you re-roll for free.
Ooh.
You need at least 3 dice to do that. If you only have 2 dice and you roll a 5, that doesn't count. But if you ever roll a straight, it's like free re-roll. Go for it. But yes, Jakarta, you can tell like you're in some kind of room. You're getting a sense, but like when you just wake up and your eyes are like not fully adjusted. So, but basically, some strong arms are kind of like helping you up and leading you out of a room. And you soon find yourself kind of blinking awake that you are in the middle of what looks like a rainforest. There are these 13 square stone structures, and you're being let out of one. You see that there's like a woman in a parka talking to someone at the doorway of another. A man and a woman have emerged from 2 sort of others. And you're just kind of looking around like what is happening. But the woman in the parka turns and says, Jakarta, thank goodness. And she kind of casts one last look into the room, which you see is numbered with a Roman... they're on top. You guys actually don't see I think the numbers are on the tops of them, so it's harder to see. Maybe there's a little number on the front as well. The point is, you see that she is turning away from the sort of like 10th of these and kind of just coming over 3 to you out of 7. And a couple other people have sort of emerged from them, but she's kind of coming over and saying, Jakarta, do you remember anything?
Am I supposed to know where I am right now?
I mean, ideally, of course you would, but if you don't, that is not unusual. That's how things have been for several of the others who were with you. London.
Yeah, I got nothing for you.
London, Zurich. Do you remember Jakarta and Partridge gestures to Jakarta?
I'm assuming we don't.
You don't.
No. Am I supposed to? We still don't know anything aside from what you showed us, and that wasn't even really us.
So your experience looking at that doll, that wasn't useful to you. What about you, Zurich? Did you sense anything upon looking at focusing on one of the dolls?
I didn't feel too good. It was like I am kind of one of the dolls.
Yes.
But like not, and like I got tall.
Yes. And that didn't feel good.
No, I threw up. Can somebody clean up for me?
Of course, we'll send in a maintenance crew. No worries. Very good, but this is a good sign. That's a sign of progress, Zurich. You're remembering things. Jakarta, I'm sure that you're very disoriented right now. You and your friends were all in a plane crash. None of you seemed. We have healed your bodies, but your minds remain uncertain. But we are helping you remember certain things.
Quick question.
Yes.
How deep does my amnesia? Do I know like what planes are and things like that? I know I have basic knowledge of things.
You have basic knowledge of most of what is being described. Yes.
Okay.
But
I just don't have any memory of who I am or why I'm here or what my name is. Or...
Yeah, exactly. You have total mastery of language. You know how to do stuff. You're sort of
All my faculties are here, just not my memory.
And like she says, a plane. You can picture a plane. You can picture a plane crash.
A plane crash? That did everyone survive? What happened?
No.
Why did it crash?
Many did not. We'll get to that later. But the point is, it was the plane is unaffiliated with our work here on the island, but we're trying to make sure that you're all right.
We're on an island?
Yes, and she gestures, and you now see you're on like a full-on tropical island. There is a massive volcano. Like not too far from this, there seems to be some building kind of up at the base of it. And the volcano is bellowing out purple smoke. It is in fact the mists.
Is that something we should be worried about, or?
Oh, well, I suppose, yes, you should be worried about it, but it doesn't pose you any immediate threat.
Do I know what the mists are?
That is a very interesting question, Jakarta. I want you to make a luck roll.
Okay. Is that a D13?
D13.
Do
Where's my
it.
luck? Where do I see that?
It's not even necessarily on there. Luck is it's a standard D13 is luck, so yeah, it's not listed for you.
12.
12.
Close.
You do know what you in among other random facts, you know, like among just like the general like knowledge you have, you know that the mists are a dangerous you know not to go into the mists. They make you really tired. They're impassable. You're aware of that. And this island seems to be bellowing out this massive column, although it doesn't seem to be going over the island. It's kind of going up. But yes.
Okay.
So, how do we feel about trying to remember a little more, everyone?
Well, I mean, of course, all we want is answers. That's all we've been looking for. Or
Of course. Yes, Montreal?
Hearing that, can I like just be with the group now, like just coming out of nowhere?
Sure, yeah, Montreal. Ooh, well, if you want to call it out of nowhere, I wouldn't even necessarily put points into this, but let's just have you give me a sneak roll, but I am going to give you a +1 from the Darius Calmblood of it all, so you can roll 3 dice. And if you want to be good at stealth, just generally feel free to add points to it. It's the bottom of your coordination. So
Okay, there we go. I would like to add a point to stealth.
Understood. I know you tend to like to have stealthy characters. You are familiar with a player Jeremy and I have played with many times named Vonda, who she must be stealthy, must be perspective. Okay, so you get 4 dice on this instance.
2 5s.
With 2 5s. Oh, and 5s are night and darkness. So yes, as you all are saying this, Montreal like appears like a vampire, kind of like suddenly, like right next to you all.
Oh my
Yes.
god!
I would love to know more. The secrets. I can see them. I can feel them inside
what did you
me.
find?
What?
What did you find?
That I can see the potential in all of us coursing through your veins. It's intoxicating. It's maddening. But I want to know more. Sorry, I was just
I'm just
rambling.
gonna turn to Zurg. I'm like, is he okay?
He is different today.
Yeah,
You guys have been around for a while, or what?
just one day.
Yeah,
Okay.
we woke up. There's like dolls in the room.
I don't like that at all.
I want
Yeah.
to point at Jakarta and be like, you're new. Who are you?
Jakarta, apparently. Who are you?
I'm not sure.
They call him Montreal.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, that name can work for
How
now.
did you do that thing where you just like appeared next to me and freaked the fuck out of me?
I don't know. I just felt the passion of the moment and I appeared where I needed to be.
All right. Add that to the list of upsetting things I've experienced in the last 5 minutes.
Oh, and you didn't even see the movie.
What the fuck is going on?
We don't know.
I want to know.
I think we're in hell, but like they keep saying we're not. So maybe we'll just treat it like summer camp and go along with whatever activity they're gonna have us do today. I don't
If
know.
we're on an island, what else can we do?
Yeah, we don't have a choice. Okay.
I'm going to
Professor-
wrap my shoulder around Zork and be like, that's right. We're all a team.
Sure, I'm down. I guess you're my
might as
only
well.
friends, right?
Sure.
Better friends than enemies. Nice to meet you all.
You
Yeah,
too.
nice
Yeah,
to meet
nice
you.
to meet you. Nice
Okay,
to meet you.
Can we? Yeah. Let's do. And she'll turn to the. Wait, is it doctor or professor?
Doctor.
Uh, let's. Doctor, we'll do whatever it is to jog our memories or whatever.
Very good. Very good. She sort of steps forward and says, "All right, so, Jakarta. Montreal, London, and Zurich, are you all carrying your dolls right now? Or do you have them more?"
Ooh.
I feel like I would have put mine down if I wasn't getting anything from her.
I'm gonna say I do have mine.
Okay, Montreal is carrying a little handsome vampire doll.
Can I like not be? Can I just have it like in my back pocket? Like I don't want people to like see that I have
Understood.
it.
You want to eat it?
No, shut up. Shut your mouth.
Understood. Zurich.
I left
Understood.
mine
Okay.
after I threw up.
So she kind of turns to Jakarta and will sort of say, All right. Jakarta, you're, we have, there's also another passenger still sleeping, and it seems Dallas and Omaha are down, so Jakarta, I'm gonna have Montreal, Zurich, and London try to help you with some of your memories. I'm just wondering if, I'll tell you what, Jakarta, this way. And she kind of leads you right back to the room you were in. Now you notice, and the rest of you can look in, that Jakarta has 6 dolls on his shelf.
What the fuck are those?
These are... Do they not look familiar to you, Jakarta?
Do they?
Look closely. Jakarta, I would like for you to go and make a... I'll let you do a detect vibe under Will.
I'm gonna add one to this.
Okay. Here, I've been doing it for everyone else, so I'll do it for yours as
Okay,
well.
cool.
There you go. Boom. And I'll even gray it so you can see what you've added points to. Okay, so go ahead and
Awesome.
make a detect vibe roll.
2 8s.
2 8s, huh? 8 is in 13s?
Yep.
All right. I am going to say that these dolls, of your dolls, there are 3 of them. One seems to be a man in kind of like a black jacket with tails, and sort of he looks sort of fancy. One of them is a man who looks a little more kind of rugged and kind of like a flannel shirt. One of them is some kind of elvish thing. Some kind of like elvish sort of kind of fantasy doll. Another doll is kind of very, very strange. It's sort of like some kind of monster with the head of a jellyfish. And your other 2 dolls, I'm actually realizing I may have, I think I might have written something wrong, because I think I have which, do you happen to remember, Jeremy, in chapter 21 of this game, when you, Pierce, and Anthony were a bunch of monsters and you kept dying repeatedly?
Yes.
Do you happen to remember the names of what your characters were? Because I have that you were Gloomtooth and Flomp.
Yeah. Flomp.
You think you were Flomp?
I was Flomp.
You were Flomp. So maybe you weren't Gloomtooth.
No. Flomp. Because I was the guy that was just a head. Like
Yes,
a giant
you were
nose
Flomp.
head
Okay,
with
perfect.
The feet.
But do you think maybe you were also... Or did Flomp make it to the end? Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I didn't die.
Flomp didn't die. Okay, then I'm just kidding. There's only
5.
5 dolls for you. and I believe that Gloomtooth was Anthony. Okay, mystery solved. Anyway, you got 5 dolls. The last one, yes, is a doll head. It is some kind of like weird goblin-like head all on its own with a like no kind of just like and a very big sort of nose and this kind of very kind of like strange thing, and just a weird little head. Yep. There you go.
Okay.
So those are the 5 things you see. 3 humans, 2 monstrous creatures. Wow, Flomp made it all the way. Good for Flomp. Dang. That was a rough night. So, looking at these with the roll that you've done, rolling 13s, you feel an eerie feeling. You don't know any of the names of these things you're saying, but you have this feeling of like, no, I have seen these before. These are something. It's a very unpleasant kind of sense. And I will say that what you have is a feeling that this thing is. You don't know what the connection is, but maybe you're just like, oh my god, was I a toy maker? Did I have all these in my suitcase? It's like, these are familiar. That's all you know. You don't know what they are.
Yeah, they seem familiar. No idea why, though.
Interesting. So excellent, thank you, Jakarta. Then we will pick one of them, would you?
Roll a d6. I pick up the weird nose goblin thing.
Pick up the weird nose goblin. Great. She kind of raises an eyebrow and says, yes. Excellent. Excellent.
What is this thing?
Let's go find out. Please join us, everyone.
Should I get one of mine too? I left them all in.
If you'd like to, you can, but if you're sort of focusing on it, do you know the names of all of your dolls?
I do, right?
You do.
I do.
Good. If you want to bring one, you're welcome to, but this is more for Jakarta.
I just want mine now to just be out like I've had it the whole time.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's just go with Jakarta's.
All right, come this way. Come on. We're gonna try something here. Don't worry. And she sort of leads you guys towards this sort of what she keeps referring to as the fortress building. She does pause though, Jakarta, and she says, you notice kind of, and Zurich, you notice this as well. She sort of pauses to. There are some people like wearing just like kind of like utility coveralls around, like they're sort of employees. This woman is of course just in a parka, but she pauses and goes to one and says, Zurich's dread cell. If you could give that a cleaning, dread cell 2. Thank you. All right. So, yes, this will be an interesting experience, I think. If you're all right, I'm going to introduce you to another one of our department heads here, everyone. So let's try to be on our best behavior. Oh, does anyone need food or water or anything while we enter? Should we stop at the commissary?
I'm hungry. I mean, I usually eat breakfast, but I mean, I can eat on the go. I'll whatever the crowd wants to do.
We can stop at the commissary. Do we still want to take, and as you sort of, Jakarta, you feel like you are sort of like being led to this building that is like, it looks kind of like when you open the doors, you vaguely recognize that what you're in is an office building. The bottom floor of it looks like a lobby, albeit kind of like not well tended and sort of covered in dust. But you are led to what you know is an elevator door. Montreal, I would imagine, and Zurich. Are you guys going to once again request the stairs?
Yes. But are we stopping by the commissary? Or are
Commissary is
we
up on
going
the
straight?
3rd floor, so yeah. So
Okay.
if you want to go there,
Taking the stairs.
she'll sort of pause and say, "I think we're going to take the stairs, Jakarta. If you're all right, we."
How dark is the stairwell?
The stairwell actually not dark at all. It has a big skylight at the top of it.
That's fine.
So, you start going up the stairs. You pass the 2nd floor, and you go to the 3rd. And pretty soon you are walking into a commissary where there's kind of some food. There's a few people doing some food here and there. Ooh, and I'll tell you what. Perfect. Jeremy, would you roll a D13 for me?
10.
With a 10. That'll be interesting. As you guys enter, you see that there is a woman. She's wearing this, like, black... It's like a gown, but it's very form-fitting, and you feel like she could move very quickly in it. Her skin is gray, her cheekbones very high, her ears pointed. She is definitely an elf of some kind, which is a term that all four of you, like, know an elf to see one. But this woman is maybe the most striking elf any of you, I mean, none of you can remember what you've seen, but she is very diverting. She is sort of standing in the commissary, and it's kind of a weird juxtaposition of this kind of fantasy being, this fascinating thing, just kind of like glancing at various little bowls of like fruit, you know, like little fruit cups, and she's just kind of these elegant fingers kind of looking around them. She
Hi.
picks one up, and she sort of turns back, and her eyes that are her sclera are like, it's completely black, her eyes just totally, and she sort of sees you all. You're letting them on out on a little field trip, are you, Partridge?
Oh, she works here. She's not like us. Okay. Sorry to bother
No,
you.
she's
sort of
not
just
like us.
Pauses, and Partridge
She's
says,
beautiful.
Partridge goes, no, she, yes,
Montreal, like a...
Oh man, you should have seen Montreal a couple hours ago. But anyway, she, this sort of Dr. Partridge kind of pauses and says, yes, I would like to, may I introduce, so to our guests here, I would like to introduce you to one of our other department heads. This is Rhiannon Dythe. She is the head of Mistwalkers.
What are those?
And Rhiannon kind of like, almost like, I mean, she just kind of like moves to you and says, yes, what are they? Can't you remember?
Would I know? Because I know what the mists are? Or...
I will say that Jakarta, since you know the mist, you know with no roll that the Mistwalkers can move through the mists without any difficulty. You know that, but Zurich, when she says, don't you know? Zurich, I would like for you to roll. I think it would be a detect vibe.
Let's see. I'm gonna add one to that.
I love it.
Oops, I screwed it up. Anyway. Okay.
Oh, I got you.
Then
What do you got?
nothing.
when she says Mistwalkers, because of your... I'm so sorry. Actually, roll one more die. If you haven't... Have you forgotten what the 3 were already, or are they still phase up?
I have them. It's 815.
Roll one more, because you should have gotten a +1 of that of Alvin Theodore.
Oh, excellent. Oh, nothing.
Still nothing. I will say that the term, you have a flash of Alvin, and you maybe even have a flash of a mustachioed man who's kind of rude, but who you respect anyway, in a weird way. And maybe you even imagine a sword for a moment, but you do have like a brief connection. But you don't know what a Mistwalker is specifically. That feels a bit too far outside of...
I think Alvin's the only thing that comes up, but I don't know.
Alvin.
This is all messed up. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
Oh, Alvin. Zurich?
Yeah, the guy in the movie.
You have a connection to Alvin Theodore, the Breaker of the Mists.
That's what he did.
That is what he did. Well...
Bad? Was that...
Oh, it doesn't matter to me or mine. Dr. Partridge says, I know that, Rhiannon, I know that you have one of yours is still a guest here. I was wondering if... No, you may not, until I'm ready. But that is interesting. Yes, interesting indeed. Which one is Bradley? She turns, and Partridge says, none of these. And then she says, very well. She goes and... Go ahead, London.
Is all of this mist talk bringing up anything for me, since Sister Mercy did have the mist arm?
Ooh, you jerk.
Sorry.
Go ahead. And now you did not study Sister Merce.
That is true.
But you may do a detect vibe.
Okay.
On that.
Is she introducing herself to all of it? Are we all introducing ourselves to her? Or
all, like, she kind of walked over to you, but when Zurich sort of said that, she kind of homed in on him.
2 3s.
2 3s. Ooh.
Yes.
And what is that, Lauren? What is 3?
That is astrophobia.
Which is?
Storms, lightning, rain, and mist.
Hey, exactly. So, London, you definitely know about the mists and the Mistwalkers, and you know Sister Mercy in particular. Sister Mercy didn't know so much about the Mistwalkers, but she knew a lot about the mists and her arm. So if you want to say something to her with some memory of Sister Mercy, you may.
I know about the mists. Not about them breaking, but it was it feels like it was a part of me. But not me. You know?
She sort of pauses and says, what part of you?
I mean, I think my hand?
Oh, you're just the nun. That's irrelevant.
I'm not a nun. Oh, the doll. What costume was Sister Mercy in?
She was in a nun costume.
Okay. Didn't know if it was the bad dragon version.
She just looks them all over and... No. You're irrelevant. You're all irrelevant in the end, but perhaps this experiment will be interesting. Partridge, you see Partridge. Actually, everybody give me a detect vibe roll at that.
What?
Or actually, this would be read person. I'm so sorry. Everybody, a read person. And yes,
No,
Montreal, you may hop in here if you'd like.
Can I charm her?
You may roll a charm, certainly.
Can I put 2 in the charm?
You may. Now go ahead and.
I just want to say something, and I just wanted to.
You want to say something and you want to roll good. I get it. Okay, go for it. Yeah.
I just want what I say to hit.
Understood. Go for it.
Ah, shit. Here we go. Okay.
How did Zurich and Jakarta do with their breed person? Okay. So no one senses. but Montreal.
2 7s.
2 7s for Montreal. Once again, this kind of animalistic thing. What is it that you say?
I just want to approach her and just say, you know, you're like a powerful, deadly, beautiful, strong creature. And I just love the kind of woman that can spill my blood, you know?
Spill your blood. Spill your blood. That is not even the beginning of what I can do to you.
I just want
Don't threaten him with a good time.
to. Could your card actually say that?
Jakarta, do you say that? Yeah. Okay.
I actually say that. But like more disturbed, like hey, this guy's pretty fucked up.
I'm gonna look at Jakarta, just give him a wink.
Don't threaten him with a good time. Okay, caught up. And she, as she sort of just looks at Montreal with this look of like, oh dear. And then she looks at Partridge and says, you are in so much trouble. And then she just kind of moves away. Partridge sort of pauses as she goes and says, so sorry about that. I was, didn't realize she would be here.
Oh, no need to apologize at all. I had a great time.
Lady Rhiannon.
Maybe like a little bit of a need to apologize.
Yes, Lady Rhiannon is a bit eccentric, as you can see.
I can see.
I would urge any of you to avoid being alone with her.
Noted.
Huh.
Done.
What?
Would you also like to warn us that water is wet, or
Do you not know?
Listen,
know that?
Ricardo, there's
Do you
nothing
not know
wrong
that,
with getting
Jakarta?
wet.
no? I'm wet. Never mind. It's a figure of speech.
I know.
No, I'm talking to the other person.
Wait, why did she say that we're irrelevant?
That was
I
kind of
mean,
rude.
you know, I know in the grand scheme of things, everybody is, but why did she say that?
It is very rude of her. Suffice it to say, some of the memories some of you possess are more connected to her area of expertise than others. And she is more singularly focused than I am. So please don't take any offense. Mr. Soot and Lady Rhiannon and some of our other... The others... There are different types here. We're all trying to work together for a shared goal, so please try not to take anything personally.
Okay, well, what is your goal?
Well, right now my goal is helping you all remember who you are.
Why did she say you were in trouble? Did you do something wrong?
No, she's just rude. She just
Just part of her charm.
Well,
Oh,
I
God.
wouldn't say that, but she says I'm in trouble because she just likes to
The
see
worst?
me fail.
Well, if you can help us, we'll help you help us.
That's all I want. Then we all get what we want. Food, drinks
What
here.
I want.
Please take anything you'd like. If there's something else you want, we can ask the staff to prepare.
I'll just grab something that's easy to like.
Sure. It's imagine kind of like almost like an automat, you know, there's kind of some you know, or like an airplane kiosk where there's like a cooled section of just grab and go type stuff. I don't think it's like an actual lunch service right now, so that's kind of what you have.
Can I like secretly like kind of just whisper to one of the staff to make a special request, like so the
Sure. Some staff member can be over there. This will be a person, so let me okay. Yes. A staff member is present. It's just a human sort of woman.
Okay.
She's kind of wearing, you know, like lunch lady type garb, but she's kind of setting some stuff down. If you approach her, she kind of looks at you like, the hell is this? But she'll pause.
Hello, I just don't want to be too much of a burden, but could I make a special request for a drink?
Sure.
And I just want to keep getting closer as I'm talking to her, like
Okay. She's kind of drawing back slightly, but like, yeah.
Would it be possible get a cup of blood.
Montreal, you see her like visibly relax, like she was kind of worried, and she just points to one of the shelves over there and says, a second row down.
And I don't want to frighten my new friends over here. Could I get a not see-through cup just so I can keep it to myself?
Oh, sure. She hands you like a thermos, basically.
Stanley fucking cup full of blood.
She hands you a Stanley cup.
I'm just gonna put my hand on the shoulder and say, "Thank you so much."
No problem. Yeah. So yeah, you can go grab a little thing of blood if you want to sort of. Tell you what, give me a. None of them are super paying attention, but give me a sneak roll.
Of course.
And this is a circumstance where even if you even with a first degree success, there are some certain numbers you can roll. So just roll your 3 dice for that.
You think I put that extra in the sneak?
I mean, he likes them who can.
Okay. 2 4s.
2 4s, absolutely, without any issue. They're all busy talking about whatever. This is like while they're asking about, Lady Rhiannon and how weird she was. Does anybody remember the invocation last week? Let's not worry about it. The point is, do you remember it, Lauren, for real?
Wasn't it Rhiannon?
Thought she might have showed up last week, but she didn't. It's fine. Anyway, Montreal, yes, you are able to grab, and sure enough, there is a little to-go cup thing. It even of itself is not clear. Like, it is not a clear thing you're picking up, but it does, say blood on it, And you can even look through, and there's A, B, O, neg. You can kind of pick which one you want, but you can grab one, and yes, you're able to pour that kind of covertly into a little thermos and bring it over, and you're just sipping that, no problem. And then Montreal, upon sipping it, would you please make an endurance roll?
Of course, I'm not actually a vampire.
Yeah, you're not a vampire. This is gonna suck for you, man.
But I think I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 4s.
All right, so you take a sip of it now, and with 4s. Oh, except Montreal, 4s. Can you please roll a d13 for me?
Oh, okay.
Because 4 is claustrophobia.
Is that mine?
That is yours, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we'll.
Yeah. Well, I gotta roll again. 8.
All right, so the good news is we do not have a horror surge here, because boy, would now be a bad time for one. But with that, we're at 9. I love it. Okay, so you drink blood, and claustrophobia. Oh no, this is gonna go bad for you because it's your thing. So you drink this blood, and you don't your endurance is enough that you're able to swallow it. Like, you don't just cough blood all over the white linoleum floors and freak everyone out, but you drink this and it tastes terrible, and it's thick and iron, and just it is absolutely not something you want to consume. And as you swallow it, you feel you begin to hyperventilate with a feeling of it's oh my god, I can't breathe, I'm full of blood, the walls are closing in. You have a claustrophobic episode just from drinking this. And I'll say that you don't cough it up, so perhaps if somebody looked, they'd see a little blood on your lips here or there, but Montreal begins hacking and coughing and clearly is in some distress, but he manages to stay on his feet and doesn't.
I'm gonna try my best to play it off.
Are you okay?
Are you good?
I'm good.
Can we see the blood on his mouth at all, or
Make a look roll.
I'm still trying to stay away from him because he creeped me out earlier, so I will not be paying that much attention.
Only earlier?
Okay. Don't do this, Jakarta.
I'm gonna add 1 to look.
Add 1 to look. Jakarta wants to see.
Our characters are never gonna be friends.
It's too funny.
All right, so that is 4 dice for you, sir.
I did no matches, unfortunately.
No matches. So basically, Jakarta, you take a look at him, and I'll even say, even if you see some blood, you're like, or even if you see some red, you're not putting together that there's blood in his mouth. He just seems distressed. For all you know, he was drinking a red velvet latte and it went down the wrong pipe. It's like he's.
I'm just gonna like run over and like pat his back. I'm like, hey, are you choking? Are you good? Like,
I'm good. Thank you.
I know the
Thank you so
Heimlich.
much.
So what's that, sir?
of course.
I know the Heimlich. If you guys need it, I practiced.
He's like talking though, so he can breathe.
I can breathe.
For future.
Good
Oh,
to know.
You know,
Yeah.
We don't. You know, maybe I'm the guy that saved somebody's life in this.
That's true. You could have been a doctor. I don't know that.
Maybe. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I just know it.
You know the. Okay.
I do.
Do any of you have 4 in look? I know Jakarta does now, but do any of the rest of you have that?
No.
Wait, do I?
Then Jakarta.
I do.
Oh, is Jakarta?
Oh wait, I do too.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
I forgot.
Well, then Jakarta, Zurich, and London, all 3 of you notice, you don't have to say anything about it, but you see that, like, you kind of look around and you don't see Dr. Partridge, and then you look back and you see she's over, like, by, like, the drink shelves, and she, like, is looking at them, and then she looks at Montreal and starts making another note down.
I walk
Right,
You
right
guys
there.
at it all? As
Say
much
what?
as she does me, or like is that just like a me thing?
Oh wait, we're all together though, right?
You're all together, they just notice this
Yeah.
while you're sort of coughing.
So they don't know that. They don't know if she's looking at me though.
No, I just know that she's looking at us and writing in her notebook
exactly.
like a
Yes,
fucking
exactly.
freak, and I'm like, is that weirding anybody else out, or is
Wait,
that
but-
just like me?
But did any of us notice that he got something from that shelf?
No.
Now you all miss
No.
it.
Okay.
He you basically, you all didn't. She's got that. So basically,
Hate that,
but I would say
London.
London, Zurich, and Jakarta. Yes, Jakarta, your response is probably the most sort of accurate to the situation. You're kind of like, why does she keep writing about this? This is weird. But you guys really don't know what she's writing about.
Am I the only one that's weirded out by that like lady writing shit down about us all the time?
She's been doing that the whole time. She tried to write down if you knew that water was wet. She just
Yeah, that was especially weird.
yeah, she did that. Well, welcome to here.
Wherever the fuck we are now, yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing this
Yeah.
place, it's probably a dread notebook.
Well,
Yeah.
Philip, did you say we saw her looking down at the thing?
I
At
think
the-
you saw her over there, but for the most part, what you saw was her.
Okay.
The most
Just
part you
looking
saw
at
her like look. She's kind of looking around, and she's over by the drinks, but she's
Okay,
looking
okay.
at all of you. That's kind of
Why y'all trying to help me?
But she
We don't know yet.
Why y'all in my
But
business?
she sort of eventually sort of pauses.
Why are you
guys
drinking blood?
I don't know. I have a rebuttal question for you. So she now walks over to all of you and says, "All right, so do you all have drinks, snacks, food?"
Whatever he's drinking, I don't want.
Yes,
I'll just have coffee, peanut butter sandwich, and hard-boiled eggs.
And actually, you're able to. The peanut butter sandwich they probably don't have on hand, but if you ask, someone will make you a peanut butter sandwich. That's fine.
I want to embarrassingly ask the same server, can I get some water?
Honestly, if you ask that server for water, she will, that will cause a. She points to some obvious water bottles, like over on the drink shelf. There's a coffee urn Zurich you're able to get when you ask for a peanut butter sandwich. She does make you one and bring that over. And so yeah, you guys get some food. Jakarta, London, you guys can grab if you have any specific.
I already grabbed. I've been ready to go.
Jakarta,
Actually, I will
London's
say this, guys,
Kinda like-
I've been ready to go.
Just gonna like grab a bagel or something. I don't
been
know.
ready since first call. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Montreal gets water. I love it. So Dr. Partridge says, "Perfect. Well then, yes, if you're ready to come with me, we're gonna try something else. We're gonna try something else for Jakarta, and that little thing you're holding there.
Good luck, dude.
Yeah.
Oh well, you're
Wait, is he gonna turn into that thing? Like it's a cute. little
No,
doll,
he
but
might. We want him to remember it, right? We want him to remember. Yeah, yes, Montreal.
Is it just Jakarta? Because I have my doll as well.
Yes, this is a Montreal and Zurich and London. You've all remembered. This is an opportunity for Jakarta to do the same, but there may be an opportunity for the rest of you. Because London and Zurich, you did not bring dolls, right?
no.
Okay.
Is that okay? I just have to ask a weird question. And Jakarta, you probably don't know, but is that an animal or is that a person?
I think it's a monster of some sort.
Wait. For her purposes, are monsters animals, or does it depend on the monster?
I think monsters, probably to me, animal. I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, kind of nature and all that stuff. Yeah, monsters are probably animals. That's it. Closest would be zoophobia. So yes.
Okay. I just. Okay. Okay. Let's go.
Are you okay?
No. Yes. No, I'm fine. Let's.
Yeah, let's go. I'm not hungry anymore.
Perfect.
Did I do something wrong or?
No, you didn't. You really didn't. Just.
Do you need some air or?
No, I'm good. Let's. As long as you're not gonna like turn into that thing.
I don't plan to. No.
Okay. Is he? Doctor, please. I can't. If he does, I can't be in the room. I don't want to be.
No, but
Okay.
no, you'll be fine.
I
Why do you think I'm gonna turn into this?
I don't know. I don't like critters or creatures or.
It was a real. I'm just gonna let you know what it was like. It was real messed up. We watched this movie. Like the characters in the movie were kind of like us, and we're like kind of them at the same time. So they might show you something that connects you to whatever that thing is right there,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna die. Doesn't always feel good, but at least you kind of figure out who you are a little.
Yeah, I thought I was an elf who apparently they're the only like beautiful creatures according to Montreal.
I'm gonna look at this like figure of this fucked up nose creature in my hand. And I'm like, maybe I should have picked a different doll.
Probably,
No.
but
Interesting.
That's the one your heart desires.
Don't
Follow
worry
your
about
passion.
Jakarta. Dr. Parcher says, so listen, Jakarta. That's what happened for them, but unfortunately, there aren't any movies to show you.
Oh,
So what are we doing instead?
We're gonna go look at... She sort of pauses and glances at London for half a second and says, we're gonna go look at some of this fellow's friends. Come on. And,
she's eating and she's like, wait, like monster creature friends?
If you don't think you can handle it, London, it's okay. You can wait outside.
I'll wait outside and just like finish my food. It'll be fine.
She leads you guys to the stairwell. You go up 2 flights of stairs to the 5th floor. She says, yes, Jakarta, I think you're gonna find more here. All right, so she kind of, you go into a hallway and you see there's like a lot of different doors here on the 5th floor. But as she sort of starts moving through it, she'll sort of she's looking at different doors, and there's a few other employees, like people like in suits and stuff, kind of wandering out of stuff and kind of noticing all of you. But they see Dr. Partridge and aren't sort of surprised. And Dr. Partridge just sort of says to one of them, "Excuse me, is the doll maker on this floor? Or is she up on 12?" And Jeremy, could you roll me a D13? Sorry, I'm making you roll them all, but that's right. I should have had Lauren do it. 2. Lauren hates.
We should have had Lauren do it.
With a 2, the person says, "Oh, she's on this floor." Dr. Partridge goes, Would you maybe let her know that Dr. Partridge is here with her guests?" And the person sort of walks back and she says, "We're going to talk to the department head." She happens to be here. Everybody make a read person roll.
2 2s.
2 2s for Montreal. Any success in London, or are you still looking? Okay, so Montreal alone, and 2 2s because this is about people, agoraphobia, which is something Montreal does clearly not suffer from. Montreal, you look at Dr. Partridge's face as she makes this request, and the others are just kind of like, London's probably like, please don't make me go into a room with creatures. Jakarta's like, should have picked another thing. Zurich's probably like, this peanut butter sandwich tastes a little crunchy. I want like smooth peanut butter. Montreal, while they're all kind of focused on this, Montreal, you notice Dr. Partridge's face. You notice her sort of vibe. And Dr. Partridge looks like someone who was making a request to see someone to go through the rules the right way. She would 1,000 times have preferred that this woman not be on this floor.
The doll maker. Or
This person she asked for, this doll maker. Yes.
Montreal will just make note of it. He's going to keep it to himself.
Perfect. Okay. After a few moments, kind of like coming out of a hall, you guys do see that there's like a woman in her 60s. She's sort of wearing some kind of, like vaguely artistic clothes, like she's in the midst of stuff. There may be some stains on the sleeves, and she's a person who gets her hands dirty, but also seems to carry some authority. So she kind of walks down the hallway to all of you. She does, however, she kind of nods to Partridge before she says anything. She notices Jakarta and Montreal holding dolls, and she kind of sort of pauses upon seeing the 2 dolls in question, and says, "Oh yeah, yes. Well, there they are." Hello, and Dr. Partridge says, "Everyone, I'd like you to introduce you to the department, our fabrication head. She oversees numerous departments, but she's in charge of fabrication. This is Hildegard Alexander Wren. We call her the doll maker. Hildy, this is Jakarta. This is Zurich. This is London, and this is Montreal." And the doll maker kind of looks at you all. "Well, very, very nice to meet you all. Very nice indeed.
The feeling's mutual."
So you've brought them here. I'm curious you're on this floor and not upon." And Dr. Porch says, yes, well, Jakarta, Montreal, Zurich, and London have already had some success with remembering things. And the doll maker turns to Montreal and says, "Oh, are you remembering Darius?"
I am.
Well,
It's quite enlightening, quite illuminating.
Oh my.
Oh my, indeed.
She kind of looks at London and Zurich and just kind of smiles, sort of an almost motherly way, but not quite. And then she'll sort of turn to Jakarta and say, "And you've brought up old Flomp, have you?"
Guess so.
What an interesting one to select.
I seem to be regretting it more and more with each passing second.
Oh, well, very sorry. What is it you needed from me, Dr. Partridge? And Dr. Partridge says, yes, so, Hildy, I was hoping that Jakarta might, sadly, Flomp, well, I can't show him what Flomp is up to now, but I was hoping that maybe he could, sort of see maybe some of Flomp's kind or Flomp's friends, and maybe things would ring a bell. And she says, "Say no more. This way, Jakarta. Everyone, please. I want to show you something. There's some new things I'm working on. I wonder if Jakarta will sort of remember them anyway." And she kind of moves over to, and she sort of leads you down a hallway. London.
Mm-hmm.
As they're getting to this door, she starts opening a door. And Dr. Partridge says, "London, you might want to look in here just to see if anything's familiar. But if you don't want to, you can stay in the hallway."
No, I will. Okay.
Wonderful. They open the door, and it is London. Because they're not... I'm going to say that you're not immediately making any kind of, like, saves against terror and horror, because what you're seeing, they are just dolls.
Okay.
But oh my god,
So she's
are
just
they
like a
dolls.
little icked out.
Yes.
Like,
and
ugh.
every doll that she walks you into, some of you who notice, those of you with the 4 look, so basically everybody at Montreal, you're too busy looking around, you guys notice that on this door there's like various little things, but you do see the word Tabakatos written on here. And as you sort of walk into this, the doll maker, and there's actually, Lauren, give me a D13. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Fuck
Just, it's
off.
D13. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Are you though?
9.
9, great. It's empty. No one is working. Actually, Jakarta, it's probably scary for a moment before they turn the lights on and then like work lights come on and the room is sort of illuminated. All sorts of monsters, but the doll maker goes, yes, no one's working on this right now, obviously, but we have plenty fabricated already. Jakarta, let's see. And she sort of leads you over, Jakarta, to a bunch of little dolls, but there are monsters, every single one of them. All sorts of strange, bizarre monsters. Minotaurs and ogres. Like coiled snakes ready to spring forward. All sorts of horrible, monstrous things. Zurich, Montreal, and London. I think I have to look at this. I know that none of you have ever been a character from Tabakatos.
Nope.
And thus far, none of the characters you guys are sort of more deeply connected to have any connection to Tabakatos. So I'm going to say that this room, you're just seeing monsters. London, go ahead.
Well, isn't Sarah connected to Tabakatos?
Sarah, how?
Oh no, never mind. It's she's connected to Dein Leckergarten.
Yes, but also...
Dear
Same
Lecker.
type.
Die Leckergarten, but also you
Thank you.
are not as connected to Sarah.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. But so specifically none of your 3 characters, but even if any of you had been someone from Tabakatos, you might be getting something from this, or if you had a character who had a deep, if your current character had a deep connection,
Oh,
you
okay.
do. So London, this room is very upsetting, and you see like monsters. And what is worst about these monsters is all the monsters that are animal monsters. You know, there's like a chimera that you're like bad news,
Yeah.
bear chimera.
Yeah.
Zurich, this room is just kind of, this room doesn't really speak to your memories as much either. Maybe on some vague part you're like, oh yeah, I do have that cool fish-headed doll. That guy's cool. But you know, for the most part, it's just sort of whatever. But Jakarta, this room definitely, and like the doll you're holding, there seems to be a familiarity. And the doll maker even like goes back on some shelves and says, oh, well, yes, I suppose it wasn't the only one we ever had just on hand. And she begins to sort of bring out like a tray, and on this tray are several more of these weird goblin creatures with just legs coming out of their ears. You know what? I'm actually gonna, Jeremy, you included an image here, right? I think we should put this into our chat into the. I'm gonna post this into chat just so anyone, just if you didn't realize, this here is that is what Jeremy's doll looks like.
Lauren thinks it's adorable. London hates it.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
what
him.
those things are. That's in our Twitch chat if anybody wants to glance. So, Jakarta. She brings over some more of these strange goblin head with like just legs coming out kind of where ears are. And she says, yes. So, interesting you did select this one well. Go ahead and have a look at any of these other creatures. And she's kind of gesturing to all the dolls around. Jakarta, I'm going to tell you the DC for this is a little bit higher than it is for other things. So you're probably going to want, you're either going to want a 3rd degree success or a sort of a second that feels very sort of correct on this. But I will let this be a detect vibe. You've already put a point into it.
I'm just gonna roll.
Give it a roll. Why not?
5, 6, 7.
Reroll for free roll.
Two 4s.
2 4s. All right. Jakarta. With 2 4s, that's claustrophobia. That is one that is not... Like, zoophobia would give you a lot more on this because, again, it is the stuff. That is not a perfect one, so...
Maybe because they're small.
They're little. They also, a lot of them do live underground. Okay, I said you needed a 3rd degree success. I'm gonna give that to you, just in the interest of fine. That's fine. Good. They are underground. They are little. Your specific one is. But as you start to look at these monsters, the name Flomp comes to mind. You do remember Flomp. Now, you are not having this, like, deep connection viscerally the way the others did, but you're remembering this creature, and you specifically are remembering this period in which it and some of its other monster friends were sent by Dusadorank and Bronk, who were a 2-headed giant who argue with each other, Dusadorank and Bronk. They sent you to investigate a frightening place, a shrine. And you have these memories of going into this shrine and of just absolute horrible things happening. And there was also a human boy with you. I think his name was Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
You have these memories of, and if anybody wants to rewatch this, go find chapter 21 of this game. 21. This is a callback to something 120 episodes ago.
Was that legitimately like 2 years ago? Did that happen?
Yeah, probably more. Yeah,
Game's got lore.
long time. Also, you guys were in there because this place was like, this was from Ignador. This is actually very tied to what we're doing. Like, Lich Queen Visibadiroth, I believe this is the first time she was name checked, was chapter 21. She was killed last week, but you should remember this. So basically, but you guys do remember, and now I will say, Jakarta, with that thing, so you're not going to have like deep memory of all of this, but I am going to give you Flomp +1 in your knowledge.
Okay. Flomp +1. Let's go, baby.
You got Flomp +1. So basically, there may be circumstances where you could be like, could I add what Flomp knows to this? But you have these horrible memories of how all the monsters like had to fight each other and fill runes in with blood, and you even do remember. You got a ring. Oh my god, sorry. This is just a little recap of this. You got a ring that you had to put on your toe. You were trying to attune to a ring on your toe. Does that sound familiar?
That did happen.
Because you had no hands, so you put a ring on his toe. And in the end, as you guys attacked... this was... Pierce's worst death is when he tried to spring at you and missed, and I said he just immediately went on the thing and died, and he was like, this game's not fun. It was really funny. Yeah. But Flomp, you were eventually... you were eventually killed by Stremzaz, the Wicked Wanderer, who later was called Stacy. Lauren, and you remember Stremzaz. And you eventually were roasted when Blazebug, a magman, exploded. So you know that Flomp didn't make it out of that thing. But he did last the longest. So Flomp did die, but he died at the very end.
Yes, he died like at the very end.
Exactly. So you basically are imagining monsters, but what is weird is, I'm gonna allow it with the edge of it, you really do remember this stuff. You're not sure you are Flomp. Maybe you're like, but it's a very vivid like memories you're having when you're looking at, and effectively it's because you look at like a little like Magman doll and you're like, oh right, one of those did. Oh, it's like, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy used to live in a tower with some stuff like these. Right. You see like a 2-headed giant somewhere and you're like, yeah, that was with, yeah, so.
Does it feel more like I watched it happen than I was there? Or does it feel like I was there?
I'm going to say that because you've rolled a second degree, I'm going to say that you're going to get to the flomp knowledge, but that it is inconclusive. You can't tell. You're like, was this a dream? Did this happen? Is it just a book I read multiple times? Yeah, but you cannot. But you got the flomp knowledge.
I can't imagine why I'd read that book multiple times, but...
Yeah. This is my favorite book. Was this my favorite book as a kid?
Yeah.
It was... That episode was literally called Dylan and the Monsters. So, yeah,
it was
maybe,
really funny.
Maybe you just remember, I believe at the beginning, and thus begins the tale of Dylan and the Monsters. So maybe there was a storybook called Dylan and the Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not having sort of the transformative experience the way they did.
Right.
And Dr. Partridge is really note. So she says, so Jakarta, you remember this creature you're holding?
Somehow, it's like, I can't really tell how I know. Like, maybe it was a dream I had, or like a book I read when I was a kid. But I know I see him.
Yes.
Or I can remember him being in this predicament with a bunch of other monsters and
what of the other
Dylan. And...
What of the other dolls that were in your? Can you remember them too?
Can I? No.
Fascinating.
I can't say I do.
Fascinating. Thank you. And basically, the doll maker says, "Well, so, but you do remember this poor little Norker's experience."
Yeah. I guess.
Well, she kind of taps the nose of the doll and says, "Very good. Did you need something else from me? We have a lot of new fabrications ever since what happened, having to remake a lot of things in a more animated style." And Dr. Birch says, "Yes, of course. Yes, please. We don't want to keep you too long, but all right. Well, Jakarta, this was very useful. Thank you."
You're welcome, I guess.
Let's leave. And she kind of, it's like she's gesturing you guys to leave, and the doll maker starts turning off lights. So Jakarta, you probably move even more.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, London.
No, never mind. I
No.
don't know if I can.
You do it.
Well, London is wondering. Well, I guess she would ask
Yeah.
the doll maker before she leaves, "Are you going to make dolls of us?"
The doll maker sort of looks at Dr. Partridge. Montreal, I'm going to say, because you already have a bit of a read on it, I'd like you to do another, actually, wait, Montreal, have you done a... Yeah, Montreal, I'd like you to give me another read person of the Dr. Partridge, but I'm going to give you a 1 bonus because you've already had a success on it.
Okie doke.
So you get 3 dice on this.
2 8s.
8. Love it. All right, Montreal. You notice the doll maker kind of like hears London, and the doll maker looks over to Dr. Partridge. Your eyes already on Dr. Partridge. You've been looking at her closely because you're like, what is this woman up to? And you can see on Dr. Partridge's face a look that is very easy to understand since you're sort of attuned to her a bit and you're paying attention. But the look on her face is, please, please. Just like, please. That's what she's saying to the doll maker.
Like, please make dolls of us?
No. What
Or
she's
just
saying
like-
is, please don't fuck this up for me.
Ah.
That's what she's saying. The doll maker sort of kind of sighs and says, no, dear, I'm not going to make dolls of any of you. No.
Did I pick up on that inflection?
No.
Do I have to do a... Okay.
Well, you could do a read person, I suppose, if you wanted to.
Because Lauren did, but I don't want to make assumptions.
She probably wouldn't have said it quite that way. She wouldn't have put the mustard on it I did.
2 2s.
That's people. I will say that with 2 2s, you definitely know. I'm going to say you're not sure what it is. The way she's like, I'm not going to make dolls of any of you. you know there's some weirdness, and
Okay.
you also know that she just looked at Dr. Partridge. There's something, but I'll say that you do. If there's one word you think there was weird, it was the word going. Yes.
Okay. I'm just.
Yeah.
London doesn't want to rock the boat, but she will put that in her back pocket.
Montreal
Mhm.
isn't going to address the doll maker, but I'm saving up to address the doctor. Because there's something I want her to do.
Okay.
Oh my god, am I about to take notes? Put a note down.
So basically, with that, you all leave the room. London, I'm sure you breathe a big sigh of relief once it's kind of you're out of all those monsters and animals. But Dr. Partridge is very good. This was very instructive. Thank you.
Very enlightening.
Yes. Are you? Well, I think that's actually let's return to your rooms. How about that?
Sure.
She leads you back down the halls, into the stairwell, which you guys are becoming very used to at this point, and walks you sort of down and says, "This was a good day, and I appreciate you all helping Jakarta. But unfortunately for Jakarta, it's probably going to take a little longer for you to kind of even have a vague memory of your dolls. The others of you at least have some vague understanding of who they all are, but Jakarta, yours are a little more confused. At this point, like, you guys open the doors and are stepping out, like, outside, and you're kind of walking across the grass over to the dread cells. Zurich maybe finally finishing the peanut butter sandwich. But as she kind of is walking you guys over there, is there in Montreal? Did you want to pull her aside? Now's not a bad time to try that, or
Before we get back to our cells, yes, because I wanted to. Do I have to roll to, I guess, make what I'm saying carry more weight?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah, say anything you'd like. So if you're kind of stopping her, the rest of you can kind of walk over to your places.
I'll just be like, excuse me, doctor. Just
yes, of course, Montreal. What can I do for you?
After such a long, tiring, and enlightening day,
Yes.
I just feel like I get the impression that you have a little bit more at stake in us remembering things correctly.
Oh.
With the doll maker, with the Miss Walker.
Oh no, I just care about your treatment. Read person.
I had to read person. Okay.
Yeah. You're having to read person a lot.
Can I put more in it?
Today. You can put more in you want. I feel you've also. I will also say, like, as a little metagamey here, typically you want to be careful with them. If you wanted to, you could simply spend a little power.
Yeah.
Assuming that because, like, I'm gonna, now as soon as you do that, I'm gonna hit you with monster. No.
I actually totally forgot about that.
If you want to spend a little power, that'll sort of come back over a couple hours. So.
Sure, I'll spend some power.
You could spend 2 power to get 1 extra dice, or 4 power to get 2 extra dice.
I'll spend 4.
Cool. All right, so you'll go down to 9 for now, but roll 4 dice this time.
Okay.
And preferably roll a bunch of 4s. That would be the best.
Sorry, I got 2 5s.
2 5s, understood. So basically, with 2 5s, thinking about the unknown, I will simply say that Dr. Partridge is probably a very good liar, but you know she's lying right now. You can tell she's lying. You can tell that you don't know what it is she's actually sort of saying, but you can tell that she's not being truthful when she says she just wants to help you all.
Then I'll just say to her, I guess before I leave, well, just so I can be of more help to you, Doctor, perhaps you can enlighten me on how to possibly remember more about these other lives of mine. I just want to be as good of a subject as I possibly can.
Actually, there is something, it's not something you need to do, but there's something I should do for you. I know you were saying that you felt one of your dolls was missing.
Yes.
One of your dolls is missing. I'm going to ask the doll maker if she can make maybe she can fabricate just a replacement, just sort of a replica, just so you can have something to remember. because I think that would help you remember. But for now, she'll kind of walk into your room with you if you're comfortable with that. She will go through your dolls and look at them, Montreal, and she will say, And you notice that she sort of pauses and she's looking at Dr. Faust Simpleton. And she's looking at Urek. And then she says, I'm actually just going to roll between them for her. I rolled a 13, but mine don't count tonight. Really bothers me. Looking at these, Montreal, she will sort of pick up Urek and hand him to you and say, maybe focus on this one in the interim.
Very well. If it will enlighten me more, and is there anything I should do in particular to maybe make the process work a little bit better?
No, but think differently this time than you did last time. Approach it differently. In other words, and please maybe or I'll try to make a note of this too. Basically what she's telling you is this time you analyzed for Darius Calmblood. She's going to want you to use a different talent next time. But as she's kind of thinking it over, she's like, maybe think differently and let me know how you approach it and what information you get.
I need to summon my Atrus hatred.
Yeah, you're like something about this doll makes me
Atrus.
Something about this doll makes me want to give Jakarta a swirly. But as she sort of pauses and kind of...
Oh my god, wait.
Yeah.
My character's gonna be so weird next session. Because I freaked out London, and what am I gonna be obsessed with her?
Yeah, so basically it's kind of sort of pauses and she'll leave you to that, Montreal. Does anybody else wish to talk to Dr. Partridge? Any matters to attend to? She'll kind of look at Jakarta and sort of, oh, Jakarta, if you go into your room, you can set down Flomp. Great name. But as you look at the other ones there, they aren't you kind of are again having this rough sense of maybe a connection, but you're not deeply connected to them. Flomp is the one you remember the most. You're not getting a thing. And Dr. Partridge actually comes in and she'll say, any progress on your other dolls? Any ringing any more bells now that you've seen?
No, I can't say there is. I'm sorry, Doctor. That's not going to be a problem, is it?
No, it's not a problem. It's just that we were able to jumpstart it for the others, but we won't be for you.
I'm sorry, what?
The others were able to sort of jumpstart their memories. They were able to see some visuals in motion. But we don't have any footage for you to watch based on any of your dolls, or at least it's harder to come by with Mr. Soot. She kind of then goes and looks at yours and goes, unless I can check, but I don't think. Yes, sorry. But please, why don't you try focusing on another one of your dolls? Maybe something will come to you from that.
Okay. I'll pick up the man in coattails.
She flips back. Just if this rings a bell, you're looking at Mr. Dowell.
Does it?
No.
I got nothing.
Well, give it some time. Rest now. They're also, and in your cells, there actually is a little bit of food and water. There's some sort of simple stuff, but there's a lot more at the thing. But she says, just rest a bit. Perhaps we'll find something. She'll sort of step out. She'll kind of London and Zurich. She'll probably kind of check it on both of you as well.
How large are these cells? Are they like tiny little cells?
No, they're
or
like
are
they're like 15 by 15 squares, 15 feet by 15
okay,
feet.
so like a full room.
Like a full room, and there's like a little bed and a chair, and and now there's these shelves with dolls on them. If you peek into the other people's rooms, London's room has so many fucking dolls. London and Zurich have a lot of dolls. You in Montreal. I mean, Montreal even has you in Montreal have a Montreal has more dolls than you, but you guys are a little more the same thing. London and Zurich have a lot, and if you ever get into Dallas's room, he's got the most of anyone.
I have a question.
Please.
Would there be, because she set Oksana down, would there be any other doll that she would be drawn to, or it's all even?
You would tell me who London is drawn to.
I don't know yet. She'll just sit on her bed and stare at the dolls.
Perfect. Not
All of them.
creepy at all. Oh, although, actually, this is a good point. I will say that as you look at your dolls, Elutella maybe makes you feel a little weird because Elutella has 4 eyes.
She is a
and
bug.
is a little bit monster-like and bug-like. But you also have Kin the Kisser of Sharks.
Oh, that's right.
Kin the Kisser of Sharks is a fish-headed thing, and that one actually maybe really bothers you more.
Is there a desk with a drawer or a dresser or
Yeah.
something in there? She will take those two and put them in the drawer. But she'll put them nicely because she doesn't want to, like, offend them. She'll, like... ugh.
All right, I'm gonna say London, you do that, and unseen by you, Dr. Partridge just makes a little note. But Dr. Partridge will end by going to Zurich and say, Zurich, I hope that none of that was too difficult for you.
No, it wasn't as bad as, yesterday. Today was okay.
That's good. That's very good. I don't want to make things more difficult for you. So, I'm glad that you've been able to have a bit more of a remembrance of Alvin. She kind of then looks at your other dolls. She goes to... Actually, wait, which one would she go to? She then pauses and says, this one I wouldn't try to connect to until you're ready. This story is one of the sadder ones. And she picks up Conrad Bourgeois.
Oh.
And kind of just like doesn't even set him off to the side. She just kind of like pats him. And sort of suggests maybe not that.
My very
What
dear
happened?
friend.
What happened to him?
Oh, he just didn't meet the best end. But he was a dear man to some people. Maybe later.
Well, what do I do in the meantime then? I mean, do I just
Pick another one.
This little fish guy? What is this fish thing?
He also has a sad story, but well, they all.
Does anybody not?
Maybe you should focus on him. His name is, and you know his name. It's Denk the Chosen.
Wait, Zurich knows his name?
You do, yes.
Oh, okay.
Montreal, Zurich, and London, because of what happened last week, you know the names of all your dolls. You don't
Okay,
necessarily know
got it.
everything that happened to them without sort of communing, but you know their names.
Dank the Chosen.
Denk the freaking Chosen.
I wonder what he was chosen for. Maybe I'll try this guy. It's kind of weird that I'm related to a fish thing, but I mean, Jakarta and the nose guy. I guess this stuff happens here, right?
Just see if it rings any bells.
Okay. Do you have a movie I can watch or like?
No, just like you did for, well, I suppose you saw a movie of Alvin. No, just hold the doll, consider it. Imagine adventures the doll might have gone on. See what springs to mind?
Okay. Will do. Thanks, boss.
Oh, I'm just a doctor. I'm no one's
That's
boss.
that's what people say wherever I'm from, I guess.
Oh.
I just know that people say that.
Do they?
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Zurek. And she sort of steps out. So is all of you. London just considering the whole spread of her dolls with 2 locked
Except for
away.
those 2.
Montreal looking at Uruk. Jakarta checking out Mr. Dowell. Zurek checking out Denk, the fucking chosen. That is where we're going to end tonight's session. With Blood from a Stone.
Oh.
It's interesting because there's a tension to this, even though so far they're just showing you stuff and everything's chill. Don't worry that in 2 sessions it's 143, which is a multiple of 13.
No!
Don't worry about that.
Let's do
I'm
it.
stupid. I
afoot here.
just realized the city names all start with the first letters of our actual names.
It took them
Yep.
so long last week. Don't worry.
Yep.
They did, yeah.
I just didn't say anything. It was very
Let's-
quick when I got my name.
Multiple of 13. Let's go.
All right, so well that is 141 down. Well, thank you all for watching, everyone. I'm gonna try to do our loadout here a little quicker. So please go check out old episodes of this, such as 121, either here on Twitch or you can go to YouTube. Sometimes that's easier to find. If you want to watch Chapter 21, go back in time and see a bunch of people die as monsters in a thing with Dan being Dylan and Dan completely shifting because as soon as he gets that magic item, he no longer wants to die. Dan's always happy for his characters to die unless they have any chance at power, and that he is so conservative with them. It's hilarious. So yeah, check that out. We also have our wiki that sometimes Prince lies about me, but for the most part is just great stuff. And we have our Discord where you can interact with us, participate in downtime for the Dreamlands. Speaking of the Dreamlands and our other games, on Sunday we have at 7:30 p.m. Pacific an episode of Here Be Dragons. On Monday we have the Dreamlands. It's the I think the Provinia shop is winning, but it's a little neck and neck between that and In the Glow of the Poison Shadow. So who knows what it'll do? Yeah, Jeremy, did you hear I just said the Provinia shop? Haha. And then on
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, and then on Wednesday, I hope we have a Top Flight Tales this week. I think it's looking much better than it did the past couple, but we'll see. And then 1 week from tonight, we are back with more Blood from a Stone. So join us for all of this. I think we do have some people to thank in chat tonight.
We do. We have wanted to give a shout out to King Bojangles for subscribing this evening to Prime. Thank you for being here. Good to
Thank
see
you.
you again. Also wanted to give a shout out to Madbird Streams for rating with a party of 7 viewers this evening.
Oh,
Thank
hi,
you
Raiders.
for joining. I know y'all came in kind of toward the end of the game, but check out YouTube. Tune in next week. Thank you again for being here.
So nice. Thank you so much. Would anyone like to plug anything or mention anything else?
Yeah, I make a webcomic called Travelers of Talaria. It's a fantasy webcomic, and it should be updating the 1st of next month. So in 12 days. Oh, Jesus Christ, I have a lot of pages to get done before then.
You're like, should be, but maybe is after that.
Yeah, maybe I'll take another day. We'll see. But yeah, if you like fantasy and scrolling webcomics, you should check it out. It's on Webtoon.
Very cool. It is cool stuff. I've read a first section, and it is very cool. So, well, thank you, everybody.
I'll do a
Thank you,
quick
players.
shout out.
Oh yeah,
quick plug.
please.
If y'all like bonsai, I do bonsai education online on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. My YouTube channel is finally set up and going strong. It's Zane's Trees at all of those places.
And that's where Zane just strees all over everything.
On everything.
He hides his swords in the trees.
Zane
I had my swords.
Zane just
Swords in the trees.
That's great. Yeah, check that out.
Other place to
They're
put 'em.
little swords too. For the little trees.
Very good. Well, on that note, thanks for watching, everyone. This was great. Until next time, have a dreadful night.
Ooh.